Hi guys, welcome back to Asperite and Embla Studio. In today's video, we're going to make a pixel art exposure tutorial in the easiest way possible. You can follow along even if you're not familiar with art fundamentals. Neither do I. Let's begin with the color palette. I found a great one on Lostback, which is an excellent website for discovering stunning color palettes for pixel art. Here is how you can download and add the palette to Aseprite. Now that we have our color palette ready, I'll use a 64x64 pixel canvas for this tutorial. I'll create a grid to ensure I'm drawing within the correct canvas size. Let's start the drawing process. First, we'll draw the ignition, which is the initial part of the explosion. For this, we'll use two frames. We'll start with a cross shape. For the second frame, I'll adjust the shape to resemble an uneven star to give it a more dynamic flashlight look. Then, I'll select the third color, go to Edit, choose FX, Outline, and set it to Inside. I'll also add some pure white at the center to make it the brightest point for a high contrast effect. Next, we'll work on the stages of formation and expansion. For this step, I use the fourth color as the background and set the brush size to 7 to draw random bubble shapes. I'll use the fifth color to darken the outer areas, which represents the dissipating energy. To make sure the pixels stay within the areas we've already drawn, I'll switch the brush mode to Lock Alpha. For the fourth frame, I repeat this process but increase the size of the shapes to expand the area of explosion. Then, I'll use the third brightest color to add fireballs and define the thin lines between the fireballs using the fifth color. Finally, I'll add highlights using the brightest color. Don't worry about making the shapes. The more irregular it is, the more natural it'll look. Before I move on to the next frame, I go back to the first frame to adjust the color as it needs to be the brightest part of the explosion. I use pure white again to create the highest contrast. Now, let's move on to the fragmentation stage of the explosion. At this point, the explosion starts breaking apart into smaller fiery chunks. The drawing process is the same as before, but now the highlights won't be as bright. So, I replace the brightest color with the second color. Next is the disperser stage. At this stage, as the fiery fragments fade away, the colors should gradually become darker. I'll use the sixth color for the background and the fifth and fourth colors for the brighter parts. Next, duplicate the frame, replace the seventh color as a background color, sixth and fifth colors for the brighter parts. Then, select the eraser and remove some random pixels to show the explosion fading and leaving only faint remnants. Finally, I'll duplicate the frame again, increase the size of the remaining fragments, and replace the background with the 7th and 8th colors. I'll erase more random pixels until only some traces remain. One more duplication and more erasing, and the explosion will completely dissipate. Congratulations! you can now have your own pixel explosion animation and use it anywhere you like. Thank you for watching. If you want more videos on game development and pixel art, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you guys!